Our top story begins in the Middle East, with tension between US and Iran reaching boiling points. In a bold and incendiary move, Iran has issued a chilling ultimatum to the US President Donald Trump, warning him to back off or face dire consequences. Tehran, long accused of pulling the strings behind Yemen's Houthi rebels, lashed out at Trump's veiled threats of military retaliation following a surge of Houthi assaults in the Red Sea. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has issued a sharp warning to the United States after President Donald Trump threatened retaliation over Yemeni attacks. Khamenei cautions that any US military action would provoke a strong and immediate response, signaling Tehran's readiness to defend its regional allies at all costs.
که در مواجهه با ایران هرگز با تهدید به جایی نخواهند رسید.
In the White House, the youngest press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, further underscores the warning, stating that Iran would be wise to take Trump's word seriously.
Our message to Iran is you better take this president seriously, and I think the Houthis learned that the hard way this past weekend. As I said in my opening remarks, there's a new sheriff in town, and this president is not just going to sit on his hands and allow terrorists to launch attacks on commercial vessels and U.S. naval ships.
She stressed that any underestimation of Trump's resolve could lead to severe consequences, reinforcing the message that the president is not one to issue empty threats. In response, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei dismissed the threat, stating that Iran has never been the initiator of conflict, but warned that anyone who takes hostile action will face hard slap in return. He made it clear that while Iran avoids provoking wars, it will not hesitate to deliver a forceful response if challenged.
تهدید میکنن بدانن ما هیچ وقت شروع کننده برخورد به درگیری با این و اون نبودیم، اما اگر چنانچه کسی خباثت کنه و شروع کنه بدانه که سیلی‌های سختی خواهد خورد.
Khamenei further asserted that the Houthis are acting independently, rejecting accusation that Iran is directing their actions.
یک اشتباه بزرگی رو سیاستمداران آمریکایی و اروپایی و امثال اینها میکنن و اون این که مراکز مقاومت در منطقه رو اسمش میگذارن نیروهای نیابتی ایران. با اونا اهانت میکنن. نیابتی یعنی چه؟ ملت یمن انگیزه داره. مقاومت ها، مراکز مقاومت در کشورهای منطقه انگیزه دارن. ایران جمهوری اسلامی نایب لازم نداره. نیابتی یعنی چه؟ خودشون هستند. شک نکنید سرانجام این ایستادگی ها شکست دشمنانه، شکست رژیم خبیث فاسد فاسق صهیونیستی است.
He emphasized that the Yemeni resistance operates on its own terms, driven by their own interests and not under Tehran's command. A clear message that any American strike could ignite a dangerous regional firestorm. This explosive warning lands as global powers scramble to contain growing chaos in one of the world's most crucial maritime arteries. With shipping routes under siege and diplomatic channels fraying, Iran's defiant stance raises the scepter of a broader confrontation, one that pits all rivals in a high-stake gamble with potential catastrophic fallout. Will Trump take the bait, or will this latest showdown push the Middle East to the brink? Next, Israel is grappling with what many are calling the most profound crisis in its history as the war in Gaza intensified and domestic unrest reaches new high. The conflict in Gaza, now entering its 6th month, has led to widespread devastation, significant military casualty, and mounting international criticism. The Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) continue their offensive against Hamas, aiming to dismantle the militant group's infrastructure. Israel Defense Minister has issued a warning to Hamas that if they don't let the hostages go, Israel will continue to take more and more territories. They will permanently control part of Gaza.
Next to Gaza, I can tell you that Israel is intensifying the fight against Hamas. The IDF has renewed targeted ground operations, securing key areas up to the center of the Netzarim axis. Our forces now control central and southern Gaza, expanding the security zone and creating a partial buffer between north and south.
However, the humanitarian situation in Gaza has deteriorated sharply, drawing condemnation from human rights organizations and foreign governments alike. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's administration has stood firm on its military objectives, stating that security concerns necessitate the ongoing operations. We will not tolerate any threats to Israeli citizens, Netanyahu declared in a recent press conference. Yet the prolonged fighting has raised questions within Israel about the long-term strategy and the human toll of the war. Simultaneously, mass protests have erupted across Israeli cities, particularly in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, reflecting deep division within Israeli society. Yesterday, approximately 1,000 demonstrators gathered in the streets of Jerusalem, united by a singular demand: the resignation of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. What began as demonstrations against judicial reforms last year has morphed into a broader anti-government movement fueled by public frustration over the handling of the Gaza conflict, raising living costs and increasing polarization. This week, tens of thousands of demonstrators flooded the streets, waving Israeli flags and chanting calls for Netanyahu's resignation. Many protesters have accused the government of prioritizing military aggression over diplomatic solutions and of undermining democratic institutions. The president of Israel voiced his concern, warning that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's actions are sowing deep division across the nation.
It is impossible not to be deeply troubled by the harsh reality unfolding before our eyes. Thousands of reserve duty call-ups have recently been issued, and it is inconceivable to send our sons to the front while simultaneously advancing divisive and controversial initiatives that create deep rifts within our nation. It is unthinkable to resume fighting while still pursuing the sacred mission of bringing our hostages.
International actors, including the United States and European Union, have urged restraint and called for renewed peace talks. Yet, with no immediate resolution in sight, the dual pressures of wars and civil unrest are testing the resilience of the Israeli state like never before. As the situation continues to evolve, the coming weeks may prove decisive, not only for Israel's security and governance, but also for its standing on the global stage. In Eastern Europe, as Russia steps up its assault on Ukraine, growing focus is being placed on US President Donald Trump and how his return to power can shift America's role in the conflict. Trump has repeatedly claimed he could quickly end the war, hinting at his personal ties with both Vladimir Putin and Vladimir Zelensky, yet offering little detail on how. His refusal to firmly back ongoing military aid has sparked sharp debate. Critics warn it could embolden Moscow, while supporters argue his unconventional style might open door for diplomacy. But one question remains unanswered. What does the US president want? He is working to bring Russia and Ukraine to the negotiating table, yet no one truly knows what his vision is for Ukraine. All he has repeatedly stated is this.
Hopefully we could save thousands of people a week from dying. That's what it's all about. They're dying. It's really humanity. We're talking about humanity. We're not talking about the money. We're losing 2,000 human beings every week. More than that, actually. 2,000 nice, young. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the satellite photos and lots of other photos, and it's a horrible thing that's happening. Thousands of people are dying a week.
With the war dragging on and casualties mounting, Trump's ambiguous stand is raising questions among allies and adversaries alike. Could his promised deal-making bring an end to the bloodshed, or might it alter the balance of power in ways few expect? The world is watching closely, as his next move could have far-reaching consequences. As geopolitical tensions surge across multiple fronts, from Iran's bold warnings and the ongoing war in Gaza, to escalating unrest within Israel and uncertainty over US leadership, the global order appears increasingly fragile. US President Donald Trump's ambiguous foreign policy posture, combined with Tehran's defiance and Israel's internal and external crisis, underscores a world on the brink of pivotal change. The stakes are higher than ever, with diplomatic missteps threatening to ignite broader conflict in the weeks ahead. The decision made by key leaders will not only shape regional dynamics, but also set the tone for global stability or of evil in the years to come. Stay tuned for more updates on Diaspora Digital Media as this situation unfolds. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our social media platforms. Don't forget to like this video. Hit the notification bell to get alerted when we drop a new video. I remain Ibrahim Umar Wasi. Bye for now.